Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, we're going through the St. Kilda versus GWS game, in which I think I got this tip pretty close to what it actually was. I know I got at least the team right. And the players in this game that I had did pretty well, aside from Priest just deciding not to bother turning up, I guess. Priest was on 11 at three-quarter time. I'm just looking at this like, that I'm just shocked, to be honest with you. Absolutely shocked. I mean, at least Parker did something. But yeah, I'm shocked. Wardlaw could have easily done better in the second half. She was on 57 at half and then crawled to a 75. Carriers decided to not turn up outside of the third quarter. So I'm really... Yeah, when I actually look at it back at it again, it really does not show that my players actually did well at all. But at least Wardlaw did better than and pretty much held up to what Morrison is doing. That's pretty much what I need for her from the rest of the season. And yeah, just Carriers just not doing anything, and probably needs to be traded out this round. And then obviously Huntington with a 27. At least she got some points on the board late to get up to 27, which should be some cash gen. I mean, hopefully hopefully she can climb to sort of 400k by the last round so they can make some sort of upgrade, but it's a very weird situation at the moment. But anyway, before we get into the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So, as you can see, is it Tiana Smith? 17 touches, I believe she had like 10 tackles or something ridiculous. 8 tackles, a goal as well in there, and she ended up with 85 fantasy points. Pretty even splits. Wardlaw had 2 goals, I think, before halftime and ended up with 75. 14 hit-outs definitely helped, and the 3 free kicks for the 2 goals. That's a lot of non-disposal points in itself, but only 2 marks and 1 tackle. If she can get that up to 4 and 4, she's looking at, what's that? Another 6 plus 9, plus 12. That's another 18 points. That gets her up to 93 just with a couple more marks and tackles. Lambert 66, Patricios 63, none of them really doing anything interesting. And that's, I think, the weird thing is that we're so enshrined with the men's game that 100 is sort of the marker. So whenever you look at these scores, and especially with what the midfielders are doing early and the other and the massive amount of forwards that we've had that are basically midfielders, whenever someone drops like a 50 or a 60 or something like that, we just think it's a terrible game, whereas if we look at the actual averages for the defenders, you see Carney, Priest, Stannett, 70s, just 100%, just 70s. And you actually look at it, so it's not actually that bad dropping a 70. Midfielders is where it really kills not having these top players. And then the ruck department as well, 82, 87.9, 82. And Moffat's actually slowed down dramatically. Last 3 of 84. But if you take out that 118, that's not looking good. So she seems like she's slowing down a lot. As well as, what did the Carlton go? The Carlton girls haven't played yet. I just want to look at the round points to see if of course, Wales went to 99. I had this sneaky suspicion that I was just not picking and I knew Hickey did well, but Strom at 74 didn't do too bad, but Wales doing that does sort of kill a little bit. And just looking at the forward line, even Dupay and Goldsworthy going big, but other than that, no one else really going big. And if we look at the averages for the forwards, 114, 102, 96, 91, 17, there's a big drop-off now. There's a top 4, and then there's a big drop-off with that 5th forward is probably going to be Goldsworthy that's there. But you see what I mean here is that you still need to find someone that's averaging in the 70s, which is still be like a 95 for the men's or 100. But it's weird to say that to try and get the gaps, like mentally get the gaps right. So with these low scores, if you look at Wardlaw at 75, if she could consistently do that and get a 75 consistently, well, that's top 8 forwards or whatever in a 5 forward system. So that's pretty decent, but she doesn't seem to do that regularly. So you could kind of just hoping that she gets on a run. But like these midfielders, obviously, excellent, I believe, is a forward. So 62 for a forward isn't the worst. And then we go down here and we keep on scrolling. Oh, and Priest turns up with 4 touches. 4 touches, 72% time on ground, so a low time on ground it looks like. 4 tackles, 1 mark. I'm just, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, that's 16, 19, so she would have had 3 kicks and 1 handball, I'm guessing, is what she did. If I look at the splits here, if I just keep on scrolling. 4, 3, 1, 1, and 4. So yeah, she had 3 kicks and 1 handball. I'm just shocked that she went that low, and surprised, to be honest, as simple as that. Then we move over to GWS, and if we look at the hit-outs wise, Carrius, they had McCormack come in, and McCormack is, I believe, a forward. Yeah, she's a forward, and she did pretty much nothing. I mean, she might gain a little bit, but she did basically nothing with a 47. They also had Garnett go in the ruck a little bit, and that sort of ruined the Karras role, which sucks because Karras should have just been the number 1 ruck in this game, to be honest with you. And so yeah, with respect to the other GWS girls, Parker went 105. She looked pretty good. Even kicked a goal and got 8 tackles. So that's a really good game from Parker. 105 is still really, really good. And that gets her up to averaging pretty much 100 for the year. 96.4 is all right. That's probably, 10th or so, 12th in the mids, I'm going to say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12th in the mids. But you have Bauer's score, which is like 3 rounds or whatever. 3 rounds, does that really count her doing that? I don't think that's... I mean, it is Bowers. We know in the end that she is going to score well, but is really, out of people that have played enough games, she's, 11th, I would say. You do have Prisparkas, who's actually gone on a tear recently. The Prisparkas girls are doing pretty well. Ali Anderson ended up at 100 and something, I believe, in her game, if you actually look at it. But even here, you can just see this round is not looking good for midfielders. I know we still have Riddell and Garner to play, as well as, let's just actually look at the average points. Rowbottom already played, and she got a 101. So still not well below her average. Garner's not played. Riddell hasn't played. Bowers isn't going to play. All these girls have played. What did Conti end up? Well, 108 for Conti is still pretty good. So Bruton still hasn't played. But she hasn't played that many games, so I would discount her. What did McDonald do? 94. No. King hasn't played yet. And Davey hasn't played yet. Swanson don't think has played yet. So a lot of these 90s girls haven't played yet. Benici actually is going to play. So I think this just is owning on the point that that there's huge fluctuations in the points, and over the course of the season, I think we're seeing a lot of girls have that 1 or 2 games where they score like an 80 or 70, and it slowly is it's not slowly, it's massively impacting their average. So we've gone from girls that average like 130, 140 with Rowbottom, and now Rowbottom's down to 116 or something like that. Pressbarkers is down below 100. So I think you're starting to see that people are, that these midfielders do score 20 or 30 more than the rest of the pack, but it's not as big as what it was at the start of the year, as you're starting to see more. The defenders seem to be more consistent in scoring in that 60 to 70 range, whereas the midfielders go up and down between like a 140 and a 100, and that sort of averages out at around a 110 or so for a lot of the top end girls. And a lot of them also are around that 100 range, which is about 30 above, rather than that 40 or 50 that we thought at the start of the year. But yeah, Parker, 105 was huge. Goldsworthy, 2 goals, 100. She's absolutely huge. And I wouldn't be surprised if she does get a midfield role next year. I mean, the good thing about the likes of Goldsworthy is that she's averaging 78. So there's so much room for her to improve. And I think this 26 against the Swans is going to help a lot next year. Like that 26, if we take that 26 out of it, and she's played all 7 games, I think you'll find that her average right now with that 26 included is 78. if you take out the 26 and divide it by 6, that raises it up 7 points. That one game has impacted her by 7 points. So there's so much room for her to increase scoring, especially if she gets a midfield role, which could be a possibility. But there's next year, there will be so much scoring available for her. So I think she will be like the number one forward next year. Or if she gets that, especially if she gets a potential midfield role, but we'll see. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. Beeson 96, Eva 95, Tiny Evans is 71 on 71% time on ground. I wasn't able to watch this game, but yeah, just looking at this, Evans got going in the second half, got 45 in the second half to really push that score. And just looking at Goldsworthy here, she does score in patches, but if she can get a consistent scoring of 20 each in each quarter, she's going to be a 120 type of scorer. That she's just so, just the way in which she scores. If we look at Goldsworthy again, high tackle numbers relatively, so that's 16, 26, 32, 35, 37 across 7 games, so that's 5 tackles a game. And then you have here, what's that, 6, 10, 13, 19, 23 marks in 7 games is over 3 a game. So what do we say that's so that's 20, that's almost 30 non-disposal points there, plus also kicking goals at the moment now, which is up to 6 goals, which is almost, yeah, she's basically got 6 points a game in scoring as well, so that's up at 36 non-disposal points. And then if she can get the disposals as well, she's up there as high up there as well. And if you discount the Swans game, those numbers go up to around 8 and 4, I believe, which is around about, if you take out the Swans game, I believe we're talking somewhere around 42, 43 non-disposal points a game, which in itself is ridiculous. But then you add in the potential of about 50 disposal points a game, then she's averaging almost, gets up towards that 86, 87 range that we're talking about. And yeah, just outside of that, there's nothing much more with the GWS girls, nothing too major, and yeah, so not really looking into them as much. Davies should be back next week, so I wouldn't be surprised if Karras is actually dropped, or one of the other forwards is dropped and Karras goes to a forward role, but we'll see with that. But anyway, that pretty much is the video there, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next recap, which will be the Geelong Freo game, in which nothing, I don't think, from memory actually happens in that game too particular that is outstanding. But I guess this is coming towards that part of the season with 3 rounds left after this, where you're sort of just picking or just hoping for some cash in out of somewhere, as there isn't really a rookie playing or something like that, or any new rookies that have a high scoring role. But anyway, that's the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.